prepare a baby bottle of formula, how many people could say that they know how to do so and do so correctly? Baby Magazine reports statistically that 1 out of every 2 formula bottles that are made incorrectly. There has been more than one occasion where I have actually left my child in the care of someone else who wasn't quite sure how to prepare the formula, and I would have to explain the 3 steps to do so, even though the directions are clearly on the back of each can of formula. There are only 3 main steps involved in preparing the formula. These steps are measuring the formula, adding water to the formula, and then mixing the 2 components together. The first step in the process is also the easiest. The first step is to add the powder to the sippy cup or bottle. A measuring device is provided with each can of formula. You first need to decide how much formula you want the baby to have or how many scoops he's going to need. Fill the measuring device to the top. Make sure it is level and loosely, not tightly packed. Make sure the scoop is level, and then empty the contents into the bottle or sippy cup, making sure not to spill any or it'll change the consistency of the mixture at the end. This next step in the process is a little bit trickier than the first step. The next step is to add water to the formula. Always use tap water, not bottled water. This is because in tap water there are vital nutrients and fluoride that is important to the development of baby's teeth. Be sure to adjust the water temperature, making sure it's not too hot, not too cold. Room temperature is always best. If you want a warmer bottle, you can turn the water a little warmer, but never, ever, ever microwave it. First off, this can burn the baby's mouth. Second of all, by heating it up, the nutrients and vitamins that are in the formula, you can lose some of them. Next, you add 2 fluid ounces for every 1 scoop of baby formula. This is very important because adding too much water can actually dilute the formula mixture, causing the baby not to get the proper nutrition that is needed. Last but not least, let's wrap up the process with the third and final step. Third, you have to cap the bottle or cup and shake it until the powder is completely dissolved. Make sure that the cap is screwed on tightly, otherwise you will have a big mess on your hands. Shake vigorously, making sure there are no lumps of formula floating in the cup or bottle. If there are lumps, then the vitamins and nutrients in the formula are not distributed evenly, and the baby will not receive the nutrition it needs. And also, if the lumps are swallowed, it can cause the baby to have an upset tummy, which you certainly don't want. The last step is to let the formula stand for about 1 minute. Not doing this is a very, very common mistake. You want the formula to stand a minute because shaking it or even stirring it can cause air bubbles, which can cause the baby to become very gassy or fussy. Now you should successfully know how to make a bottle or sippy cup of formula the right way. As can be seen, making a bottle or cup of formula can be done correctly if you just follow these 3 easy steps. Again, just measure the formula, add water to the formula, and mix the 2 components together. Taking care of a child is not an easy task, but making their formula correctly should be. Now allow me to demonstrate this process. Cup. Again, make sure that it is loosely, not tightly packed. I'm putting 4 scoops of formula into the sippy cup. Now here I have my 8 ounces of water. Now we're going to shake. Now let's check for lumps. Okay, there are no lumps, but there are air bubbles, so we do have to allow this again to stand for 1 minute. Now, does anybody have any questions? Okay.
You said you couldn't heat the water in a microwave. Could you boil the water instead?
You can boil the water, however, boiling is tricky. First of all, again, you don't want to get the water too hot for the baby, otherwise you can burn his mouth. And second of all, most bottles nowadays are made out of plastic, not glass, so if it's too warm, then you can't, it might actually melt the plastic, or it might release toxins that are within the plastic. Any other questions?
I have a question.
Okay.
How long is the formula good for after it's mixed?
If it's left out of the refrigerator, it's only good for about 1 to 2 hours. Then it starts to spoil. If in the refrigerator, it can actually be good for up to 2 days. Be sure to discard it after that. It will not be good. Any more questions?
I have one. Why does the formula have to be measured when it's loose instead of packed in the measuring device?
Well, you know, just like flour, if you don't want to pack it in there too tightly, because if you pack it too tightly, then there won't be enough water, and then the baby can get an upset tummy from having too much of the actual powder. Any others? All right. Well, thank you for coming and thank you for your time. I hope I have informed you of the correct way to fix a baby formula bottle.
Encore author.